Some serious questions are being raised about the information we are getting about weather in New Zealand, and whether or not, excuse the pun, NIWA is telling us all it can about historical extreme weather events. For much of the latest hysteria around climate change has been driven by Gabrielle and the flood before that, and the impression being created by a lazy and biased mainstream media that somehow, suddenly, our weather has got a whole lot worse because of man-made climate change. Ian Wishart, we had him on the program yesterday, long-time investigative journalist. Ian went and did some research. And Ian looked at barometric low pressure and said, really, are these the most extreme? And he found a whole lot of storms that are not in the official NIWA database of extreme weather in New Zealand. And he was generous. He said, well, either maybe they've missed this stuff that I could find on the interweb, or they're suppressing this stuff to support a narrative around climate change. I think it's a really interesting issue, and it is pretty cut and dried here. These weather events happen, there are records of it, but they're not in the official database. Look, and our next guest is someone who, prior to Gabrielle in particular, was the guy who convinced me just with his science that was going to be an extreme weather event, because he looked at the barometric pressure, and when Philip Duncan from WeatherWatch says there's trouble on the way, you know what, I take notice. I wondered what Philip would make of Ian Wishart's research and this apparent huge gaping hole in the scientific records of NIWA. Philip joins us now. G'day, mate. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very good. Thanks for having me.
Look, Philip, I still remember back when you said what the barometric pressure was going to be and how low it was by historical standards. That made me take things seriously, and I think you were damn right. First, I want to ask, have you read this Climate of Fear report? That's the headline that Ian Wishart from Investigate magazine put on it. We've sent it to you. Have you had a look at what he's done?
I have. Yeah, I have, and it doesn't surprise me.
Well, first, can I ask you, Philip, is it worthwhile research? Is he gilding the lily? Or do you think his methodology of looking for extreme weather events in New Zealand's past is pretty good?
No, I thought it was good, actually. I didn't know what to expect. I don't get too much into the climate change debate because it's outside of the weather forecasting job I do, and it's confusing enough for people to get into the politics of it. But the details he went into, it highlights a major problem that we've been talking about in New Zealand for well over 10 years, that we don't have open data, and it means that government agencies can weaponize that information